Hey, welcome back to another Too Fresh exclusive. Speaking about exclusive, I have two special guests in the building right now.
Hey.
We had the Miss Lovely Keisha Carroll,
Hello, hello.
and we got the super dapper Bernard Fields in the house.
Yo,
Yeah.
what's up? What's up?
What's going on, guys? How y'all been feeling?
Hey.
Pretty good.
Got this film festival underway. About to
man.
get this film submitted. We're doing good. About to watch some good films. Matter of fact, we got to go see Sinners. Sinners is coming out like what in April?
Oh,
Is that
Oh,
next
okay.
month or is that April?
April. I think it's like
April.
April.
Yeah, yeah,
12th,
yeah.
if I'm
But we
not
got some
mistaken.
stuff on the docket. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
Golly, I want to see that so bad.
I'm waiting.
Yeah. So, speaking about creative arts, what's going on, Keisha?
That's so
Let us all
funny.
in.
He's so obvious. So, I was actually watching a clip the other day of a comedian, Josh Johnson, and he made a really interesting comment that I kind of wanted to bring up and possibly discuss. He said, while art can save your life, entertainment is not and will never be your salvation. I'm going to say that again. Art can save your life, but entertainment will never be your salvation.
What's your interpretation of that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was kind of self-explanatory to me, but I will
Oh,
say,
not for me.
You
Break
said-
it down.
Yeah, you-
Yeah, to the
break
viewers
it
out
down.
there that
I
may
got
not
you.
know.
I got
You gotta
you.
be my
So,
chat GPT.
You know,
Break it down to me like I'm a 3-year-old right
art
now.
is an expression, right? And I think that as in our culture, we have used art in its many various forms, be it music, be it poetry, be it painting, be it film, theater, all of these different variations of art, how we are able to channel, and especially I will say for us, we've been able to channel our pain, our progress, our joy, our sadness, our love, everything into these different art forms. And if we didn't have those creative outlets, I would hate to see where we would be without them, right? All that energy has to get channeled in some way. So I think the being able to channel, especially those more difficult emotions, I think it does help to redirect, because the way I would burn it down if I didn't have a refuge of my pen and paper, if I didn't have the ability to create something healthy, as a result of whatever my experiences are, I think that's what that means, that art can save your life. But entertainment will never be your salvation. He talks about, entertainment is really just a form of escapism. And you cannot challenge, those obstacles. You cannot push back if you are just constantly sitting in that comfort of wanting to be entertained. So it's art, and also can be a call to action, So yeah, I think if you're just wanting to be entertained, then what are you acting on? So that's my 2 cents. What do you think about it, Frank?
I'm still a little lost, but let's play this clip and maybe
Let's
he
see if
can
we
break
get
it
some
on down.
context.
Yeah.
It's on mute.
Never be your salvation.
Can I rewind it?
Unfortunately, Instagram, get it together
Oh,
for real.
well, we can pick up.
We can pick up.
Yeah, we can.
Got the
Yeah.
quote.
All right? Art can save your life, but
Yeah.
entertainment by and large is escapism. And no one has ever escaped their chains by forgetting they were there. So you cannot, when I tell you, you will not be saved through entertainment alone. Expecting Kendrick to rap so good that Trump is like, I'ma stop. Like, be serious. If you really believe that, if you really believe he didn't go far enough, he didn't do enough, there was so much more he could have done, forget the symbolism, forget the double entendres. He should have spoke plainly. He should have put it all out there. I have great news for you. There are these things called books, right? There are these things called books, and every revolutionary that the government was scared enough to murder, almost all of them wrote one before they died. And they're so confident that you won't read it, they have it for free at the library. He should have done so much more. I can tell you this, art can save your life.
Alrighty. So
That give you more context?
yeah, are you asking? Do I need more context?
Did that give you more context? Watching the full
I
video?
think I've interpreted what he said.
Okay. What you got from that?
So so one line that stuck out to me, that he said, "You don't expect Kendrick to rap so good that Trump would say, okay, I'm gonna stop." So yeah, I'm still a little lost. All right, but I'm gonna cook real quick. I'm gonna cook. So as far as like what I got from that is like, okay, like we're creatives. This was what keeps us entertained. But as far as like entertainment, that can't be like if we didn't have entertainment, like what would be our outlet? Is that what
Let me
you're
ask
trying
you
to say?
this: is all entertainment considered art to you?
Mm.
And is all art entertainment? The two can be interchangeable,
Yeah.
but they may not necessarily be. In my mind,
Nah. I don't think all art is entertainment and vice versa.
Well, let me ask
Yeah.
this or throw this in there too. Do you think that entertainment can be more than escapism? Can entertainment also be a learning situation?
I think that's what makes it artistic. Yeah.
So is it all interchangeable then? Is it based upon the one who's receiving? So
It
to
could be
kind of push
subjective.
back-
That could be subjective.
To push back on Josh, though he's a great comedian, the idea that a person can't be moved by one's art to change their own projection in life, trajectory.
I don't think
like-
he's saying. I don't think that's what he's saying at all.
He
I
said,
don't-
"I'm gonna stop." Like, is it possible that a person can use their art? It could be rap, it could be speech, because the art of dialogue.
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
has there been any art form that has stopped oppression in its tracks?
Yes,
Can you give me an example?
I can give you a biblical example.
Can you give me a contemporary example outside of the Bible?
Yeah, I can. I'm sure there has.
Now I was gonna
there
say,
has
let's go.
been-
I want to hear it.
like there. Some people may not consider this an art, but during the civil rights movement, every demonstration was a form of art that they were putting on display, and the hearts of men were moved from every march. That's why they call it the art of war. It's not just we out here just trying to put up a rebellion and we're just mindlessly out here. Like, no, it takes a special
There's a strategy.
and that's art. That's someone's ministry. That's someone's art. So think of it this way: for Martin Luther King to get up there and to give a speech, that's art. Someone had to sit down and poetically write that down. I have a dream. People quote that to this day, not because it was just something that he was just beating his words and breath up against the wind. Like, he actually was out there causing people's hearts and minds to change. They were moved. So it wasn't he was up there talking for my sheer entertainment. He was talking and moving the way that he moved.
I'm gonna chime in
I don't
real
know.
quick.
I
Go
don't know
ahead.
that I agree with that. I wouldn't say that people's necessarily hearts and minds were changed by his speech. I think he was able to kind of galvanize the people who were already in support of that direction.
You don't think there was nobody out there that felt different to any degree, to where on a spectrum? They
I
felt
will
like,
say this. I will say this. It's not like doing the right thing. It's not like, having a moral compass is like, this eureka moment. It's not that these people don't know what right from wrong is or morality. They don't care. So I don't think any amount of, because keep in mind, when King was murdered, upwards of 80% of the country thought he was a troublemaker. He was a troublemaker.
Yeah.
He did not become celebrated until he got the holiday. What was that, in the 90s, when his family sued the federal government and found out the federal government conspired to have him killed? So, like, no, I don't
Is
think
that all
I don't-
factual?
Yes, go look it up.
Yeah.
Go read it.
Man,
Well, Venora was there, so I believe him.
Well, actually,
Don't try to play me.
I came about maybe
Not on
15
Black
years
History Month.
later.
You're not gonna play with me. Not this close Women's History Month. You're not gonna play with me.
I came about a little later.
That's why I had to ask. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that fact? Is that how?
Go look it
no,
up.
No, I'm serious. Like, no, okay. No, I believe
What
you.
Josh said,
Yeah.
there are these things called books.
Oh, okay. That's how you
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
So is it art when Trump signs a treaty and takes or not a treaty, but signs a document and takes away DEI? Would you consider that art?
To be an art,
Ooh.
I would
No.
say, you know what? Depending on the one who's consuming it, it could be interpreted as art. That a person that's their entertainment. How many people out there was so entertained and laughed and was like, yes, he's taking away DEI out there. They were entertained, not educated only because what education is there besides the fact that he was just moving his pen and causing a new movement to happen.
Yeah, because they even brought it up in the entertainment world where Beyonce won Best Country Album, and they said they blame it on DEI for that.
Child.
So
They don't even understand. Here's the thing: the people who love to like throw out these buzzwords of woke, and if you ask them to explain what it means, they can't oftentimes. And what I love to say, stop calling it DEI. What part exactly are you against? Is it the diversity? Is it the equity, or is it the inclusion that you dislike?
I'm glad you broke it down. I was
Yeah.
about to say I don't even know what DEI even stand for.
Quit playing.
We're gonna need you to do better in 2025, friend. We're gonna need you to do better. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna get him
But
together.
yeah.
Said, don't let the world happen to you and around you.
You feel me? But and here's the thing, even going back to your point about the
Yeah.
civil rights movement, I don't
Yeah.
think the moment itself was art per se. I think what we did with it, we made the resistance artistic through the photos, through the paintings, through our the showcasing of our stories, the showcasing of where we've been, what we've done. We have turned it into something artistic because I think resistance can be artistic. So I think that is a form of resistance, and that you can tie that into different art forms. I think that's what's happened. But us organizing collectively, would I call it art? I think it could be.
Oh yeah, it is. Think of it this way: when the Black Panther movement was happening, they had their colors,
movies?
they had their symbol, which was the Black Panther. That's all art, and that's all
I
part of the
don't disagree
revolution
with that.
to the point to where when you ain't gotta say nothing, you can just show it.
Yeah.
and people just knew, what time it was. It's that North Carolina blue and that black. That to me is a form of like it's all art, like just through my eyes, because I'm an
I can see
artistic
that.
person. So it's like to me, it's not just by haphazardly just moving out there. It's like you said, strategically. You know, when you want to cause education or cause a movement, and you want to bring just overall impact, there's going to be some form of art. In
I
there.
think that's it. I think it's the impact that is artistic. Because if everyone's just walking around in uniforms and nobody sees it, if nobody captures that moment, if nobody displays that storytelling for later for other audiences to consume, then who is it art to?
those who are participating in it.
True, but
Because, like, we see each other.
your purview when you are marching in line
Yes.
is not the same view as someone who's on the outside watching 85 of y'all in a line.
Right.
That impact is different just based
Yeah,
on
it
your
is.
vantage point alone.
Yes.
Marching in
It's
line.
almost kind of like the artist. It's like asking a question: can the artist enjoy the art that they create? Like, can a cook enjoy the food that they cook for the people to consume? Like, you taste test it, and it's like, okay, I'm entertained. My taste buds are entertained, but at the same time, my purpose behind it is for them.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot as a spoken word artist,
Yeah.
where I've done poetry that this piece means something to me,
Yeah.
but someone else's interpretation
Yes.
applied to their life or their
Right.
personal situation,
Right.
completely different.
Right. And I'm saying
And
that your
that in
words
itself is
can move.
artistic.
It moves. Though one person is entertained, surely just entertained. One person is moved completely different.
Yeah.
Same word, same person is delivering it, but each person's lived experiences cultivated together. One person may say, like, you know what, like Josh Johnson says, he was like, like it's just entertainment. It's not going to save you. But another person could be like, but that word she said saved my life.
But
Yeah.
so let's talk about, because we're talking about meaningful things that we
Yes.
perceive as, that can be entertainment and also can be perceived as art.
Right.
But there's a lot of entertainment that's just empty, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and I think maybe that's the conversation. That's what he's probably highlighting, is that a lot of the things that we find entertainment are just empty. Like, I dated someone who told me before that he liked to watch something that was really mindless, didn't really require him to think. And I was like, I don't know.
Like
I
Well,
Tyler Perry
hold on, but what's
I don't know
wrong
how
with
this
that
gonna
though?
work.
Because he might
I'm not
have a
ju-
job
I'm
where it's like I
not-
gotta think all the time.
I'm not.
I just
ju-
want to turn my brain off
Well,
and
that's
just enjoy the.
escapism.
But
yeah.
that's escape. Exactly.
That's
That's
escape-
escapism. And
You were
if
saying
you,
that entertainment is
it's not your salvation. Entertainment will never be your salvation. Is the
So
conversation.
then, what will be the salvation?
Well, again,
when it's meaningful to you.
art, and then I think what the art inspires you to do. So if you're not inspired by the things that you were consuming, by the things that you were hearing, by the things that you were watching, by what you're listening to, what you're taking in, if you are not inspired by those things to do anything, what are you doing?
So my
That's
question.
that's like
Go ahead.
that's like 80% of the world, though. You know what I mean?
Does that
'Cause
mean it's great? That means it's okay? Because like consider where the world is now versus where we were, 15, 20, 25, 50 years ago when we didn't have all of this access, all of this choice to just be mindless, when people had to move with more purpose.
But will we have a balanced world though if things aren't the way that they are now? If everyone could just be entertainment the whole entire time. I mean, I'm pretty
A
sure
lot
like
of people are. A lot of people live on their cell phones day after day. They switch from app to app.
yeah, but you still have a traditional 9 to 5 though at the same time. Traditional 9 to 5 where that keeps the world going on.
A lot of work is mindless. So if you were doing mindless work, consuming mindless entertainment, then where is the enrichment? And that's the importance of art, right? I think that's
I
what
think
that's
you have to
what
have a balance. I think it's like a yin and yang.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you think the mindlessness, the moments of mindlessness is
so
also important.
if I'm a hard worker, I'm working hard. That's all I know is hard work. What am I working hard for? You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
So you
but I
still need
need
some
that.
recreation.
Yeah, I
basically,
need-
like recess.
Right. That's why we have recess at school because we need to take recess and lunch. You know what I mean? So we need that break in the middle of the
Yeah,
day
true.
so we can, at least not feel
can see
like
that.
overwhelmed. You know what I mean?
But there, I hear that. I'm not disagreeing with that part. Does
Right.
the reset or the recess, does it always have to be mindless? And then not to say that it's a bad thing, because I do believe in like being able to, not have to boggle your brain 24 hours a
Right.
day. But we have an overconsumption
Yeah.
of entertainment. And I think therein lies the problem. We have an overconsumption and an overproduction of mindless entertainment. And that is kind of what takes over. That's what's kind of
But that's a choice.
giving them platform.
It's a choice.
No, to some degree it is. It absolutely
Yeah.
is. But again, if you don't understand the difference between cultivating art versus just taking in entertainment, then what is your personal
But cultivating
salvation?
art is subjective, though. It's like what I think is cultivating art. To me, you may think it's mindless.
Right, but are you, and be that as it may, are you inspired to do something? Are you inspired to move? Because I see the two different types of people. I see people who have this hyper focus on consuming art where it's mindless. They're not required to think. They just here for the party, for the good time, for the turn up, and that's what everything their intake is.
Yeah.
But I see people too who are looking for art that inspires them, that challenges them, that moves them, that makes them want to create something else. When I met Rhapsody a few years ago at a concert she did, I got
you
this.
wanna
I got
name
this.
drop.
No, like it was a beautiful moment.
Inflex.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful moment. She did a concert.
Okay.
She was very cool, very like open with the audience and stuff. It was like in Washington Park, so it wasn't like a
Okay,
stadium
yeah.
kind of concert. It was very much more like intimate.
Yeah.
But in speaking with her, I got to share with her that I wrote a whole film, Internal Affair. I wrote Internal Affair while listening to Nina on repeat.
I know. What does that mean?
It's a short
It's a short
No,
film
I'm saying
that I
like,
wrote.
like as far as
I was inspired by
No,
her
the title. The
art.
title.
Internal
Yeah.
Affair. You have to see the film. Once you
Yeah.
see the film, it makes sense.
Okay.
But
I just thought it was
we
an
gonna have to
interesting
reshoot
title.
that anyway.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
another day.
Yeah, if you're going to
Reshoot it.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's out.
We're gonna talk offline about
Yeah.
that. But anyway,
Hold on, it's on YouTube.
her art inspired my art.
Yeah.
That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's what you do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I could name drop too.
Go
So
ahead.
when I met Cedric the Entertainer, Dion Cole, Marlon Wayans,
What were you inspired to do as a result of intaking their art?
I feel like for me, like comedy
Mhm.
can be that mindless thing where it's just like, hey, I'm not doing not even mindless. It can be consumed as like you said, like a cultural movement, type of thing. With the thing, he's doing comedy,
But
and I feel like
it's an art form though.
yeah, it's an art form.
There's an art form to storytelling.
Okay. Oh, so you
Comedy
saying-
is not just about landing funny jokes. Notice that there is an art form
yeah, that's what I'm
to
saying.
the storytelling.
But at the same time, it can be a mindless outlet. I'm not doing anything. To me, that's like I'm just taking in the comedy, taking in the knowledge.
Yeah, it's almost
but
like that one.
It's not.
It depends on
It's
the
like
brand
that-
of comedy, I would say.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you got like he's one brand of comedy.
Exactly.
Then you have the other spectrum where you got a guy up on stage with a watermelon and so and a mallet busting it, and everybody is on the front row wearing ponchos, like, oh, having a darn good time. He hauling around, and it's like, so what'd you get out of that? Besides,
But that's art.
smashing watermelons.
That's art.
Nothing.
That's
I
an
just
art
turned my brain
form.
off, and I was entertained.
Exactly.
Somebody can break that down and say why were you entertained?
Well, see, here's another perspective that we don't know unless we are able to talk to the individual who is creating the art, and that is just
Yeah.
like, okay, so
Exactly.
so it's like, so what does the mallet represent in the watermelon? He's like, man, I'm over here smashing stereotypes of black people. I would have never knew that, but
See?
moving forward, seeing him do that over and over again, I now know, and I'm now reminded that his art, though people may laugh at it, what he's really up there is doing is like, I'm smashing. I'm trying to.
You know who that
Yeah.
reminds me of? It reminds me of Dave Chappelle, and it reminds me of when he first did his series. It was hard for me to get into. I was like, "What in the is this? What's going on?" But when he came to that realization that, oh wait, these people are laughing at me. They're not
Yeah.
laughing with me. And it kind of rearranged his trajectory, which
Yeah.
led him on his, journey to I think he went to Africa for a
Yeah.
few months. But anyways, I think, when you understand how your art is being received, and on top of that, just kind of carving out the intention of your art. And for me, as an artist, let me ask you this: are you intentional about your art and what you put out?
Yeah, because I don't want to put out certain things to be
Or just any old thing, right?
right. Yeah. So yeah,
So
I was-
yeah, going back to the quote,
Yep.
art can save your life, but just entertainment and just wanting to be entertained is never going to save you. It's never going to move the needle
Nah,
forward.
No, well, hold on.
I don't agree
To
with
help support that thought in part, the entertainment part is based upon the individual. The art,
that. Yeah.
you have the artist, you have the art, and you got the consumer. You got those three factors, and each one interprets the art that's in the middle a little bit differently. The consumer can look at that art and say that, wow, that was entertaining. Another person can look at that art and say that saved my life. The
Yeah.
artist who created that art may say
Yeah.
to themselves, you know what, I created this with the purpose of insert whatever, but seeing these people the way that they perceive his art, it's like I can't control that because I put it out there in the world. So perfect example would be Little Mermaid. You guys seen Little Mermaid, right? Okay, y'all remember? You ain't never seen Little Mermaid?
Not even a live action one.
I mean, I haven't
a
like
kid?
sat down and watched the whole thing, but like if like I don't want to sound sexist, but if I know my little or my older cousin, she would watch Little Mermaid, but
Okay.
that's not for me.
That's not for you.
Right,
That's
Okay.
not for me.
right,
So
right.
I'll tune out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's on, it's on. But I'm not gonna sit down like
actively watching.
under the
Right.
sea,
Okay,
singing
so
under the sea all the time. Nah, that's not.
But you know the song
yeah.
though.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
so-
saying.
Yeah, I mean it's popular. It's a
So the
popular
art
IP.
landed. That's all
So
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
check this out. There's a scene in Little Mermaid where she's sitting down at the table and she picks up a fork. What do we do as regular human beings with a fork? We use it to eat. She used it as a comb. She started doing her hair like this, and everybody at the table like, what? Because down under the sea, she had a fork, and that's what she used it for. But the person up above us humans, we created the fork for a totally different purpose and only saw it for that. But in the hands of somebody else, they interpret it completely different. And and so it's like, who's the crazy one?
Right. Who's right and who's wrong?
Who's wrong? So it's like it's kind of up to interpretation. But I understand what Josh is saying, that if you're going at it, not entertainment, the art itself is not entertainment. The entertainment is how you perceive it and how you receive it. So it's like, oh man, I was completely entertained by that. But you can also have a certain percentage of where it affects you in a way to where it also educates, and it also change. It can change your life, or it can put you in a trajectory to where you can be better off than when you had came. For example, the art of, like you said, having Black Panthers. If I see a row of 100 men marching down the street, beautiful, artistic, capture it on a picture, I can still get the picture and I'm gonna feel moved. I'm gonna feel like I need to do something. Like, man,
That picture of Malcolm X at the window
yeah,
holding
with
his
the
gun up.
man,
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I don't think he was doing that for artistic, like I'm about to be an
But
artist.
but that
but it was
art,
effective.
that capture
Yeah.
of that particular moment, that art of resistance,
Man,
like
listen.
that imagery It was artistic.
Period.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And even Malcolm X himself said, in no other community are they taking performers and lauding them as like community leaders.
Yeah.
Kendrick even told you in one of his last albums, he was like, J. Cole and them told you da 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 da, but he is not your savior.
Yeah.
I told you da 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 da, but I am not your savior. I can move you, but ultimately the work is yours.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
It
if you
is.
were always just wanting to sit back and be entertained, I think that's the question. Then what is your work?
Yep.
What is your work? Or
What is your
worth?
work?
Yeah.
With
It's
the
like,
K.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just clarifying.
No, that's so true because it's up to you to try to find the deeper meaning, if there is to be one, or if the universe opens up your mind to be able to see it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you could be minding your own business or watch the same thing 5 times, but that 6th time you watched it, you're like, oh my God, I see it. It's almost like a parable or a fable, and you're just like, how come I didn't see this before? Because your mind space was different, and you was in a space of just, I want to be entertained, I want to laugh, or I want to cry, or whatever that emotion may be. But in that particular moment, it took on a whole different meaning. It
And
took
notice
on
too
life.
how, to piggyback off of that, how us as filmmakers, we watch films differently than everybody else.
Oh my God!
Right?
Yes,
When people watch a movie or a series, they lost into the story. We're looking at the shots, we're looking at the actors' choices, we're looking at the lighting. The lens that was used. So
Yeah.
we understand that art form more, to where it's not just a matter of entertainment. It's about like us really depicting the art itself.
Absolutely.
And then that informs what we do or don't do,
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I think it leads you back to what is your work? Once you see this, once you absorb this, once you receive whatever this thing is, what are you doing with that? And if your answer is always nothing, if your answer is always to turn off your mind and to be complacent and to be relaxed, and then like, again, is that your salvation? What is that rescuing you from?
Yeah. Nah, I see what you're saying, but I feel like everybody in the world is not special. Okay, let's keep it a buck. Everybody, I mean, you may have your own special talent to you individually, but is it elite? You know what I mean? Is it elite enough for you to make a living off of that? You know what I mean? Not really. 9 times out of 10. Let's keep it a buck.
You talking about as far as like
In art, yeah, in with art entertainment. So what do? So we work traditional jobs, like a job. You may go to school. Let's say if you go to school for filmmaking, right? But you end up being like a realtor or a realtor, and you make $200K a year. But are you willing to take that sacrifice and make possibly zero? But I'm gonna chase my dreams where I can, make a living off of that.
As somebody who does work a full-time job,
Yeah.
and I still find ways for my art, like I have to create. Like
Right.
it's not an option.
Yeah.
All of the things that live in my mind, all the
Right.
things that I'm inspired by, and I purposely look for art that moves me and inspires me to create. So it's not a choice for me. Even when I don't make any money, and I'm not balling out of.
But you need that balance
I'm
in
not
order to
balling.
survive, right?
But here's the thing. I'm very strategic in the sense that I chose my 9 to 5
Yeah.
so that I can work a job to where I can pay my bills, I can be comfortable, and I can invest into my passion projects, because that's not my passion.
Yeah, right.
It pays the bills.
A lot of us are not working our passion, so we need that So I'll like pretty much say this backwards. So we need that creative outlet in order to, be balanced as a whole, to feel like we have some type of purpose. You know what I mean? So even vice versa. So even if it's like, okay, the art that we take in, it might be educational, or even like if we make a living from educational art, I'm using my brain all day. So I need to tune it off so I can take some type of relaxation.
I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
It's not the point as to say like you shouldn't absorb any type of mindless entertainment. I don't think that's the conversation.
Okay.
I think what is being said is wanting to be entertained all the time doesn't move you forward.
Okay.
all the time.
No, I agree. Okay,
It's
that-
part.
It's the
That
yeah.
part, okay,
It's the
I
it's the
get.
overconsumption.
Yeah.
It's
I thought it
the-
was I thought you were trying to say like, hey, like
Period.
if every single day exactly
Right.
if every single day
Uh-huh.
you come home from work
Yeah.
and the only thing you know how to do is sit down and turn on the TV until it's time for bed, and that is your MO every single day.
What's wrong with that though?
I didn't say it's a matter of wrong.
Yeah.
What's being said is your entertainment will not be your salvation. It's not gonna
But a
move
lot
the
of us-
needle.
A lot of us wasn't asked to be born, and a lot of
None of us
Yeah.
asked to be born.
right. But
But
but why is it like? And it's not a responsibility to do something that's gonna help, I guess, be productive or change the world. Sometimes you just need people who's just like, yo, I'm gonna work a 9 to 5 and that's it, and then I'm gonna be entertainment.
You
Yeah,
said- you
it's
said
people.
You, said
It's,
you
you're
need
saying
that.
that- you're saying
Who
that
needs
is-
that?
to be a consumer.
I feel like the
You think
world.
you think your community benefits?
No,
from that?
I don't think the community benefits from something like that. But as far as like, in order for the world to continue like how it is right now, is it right or wrong? Or I mean,
We
it's,
live in one idea of how the world works, and if you go to other places outside of the one place that we live,
Yeah.
you'll see other places and how the world works, and it don't look the same as ours. So if you're interested in maintaining the status quo of what we've always done, what we've always known here, sure.
yeah,
But again, is that saving you? Look at the medium income for the average Black family 50 years ago versus today.
yeah,
Look at the amount of wealth that we have as Black people today versus 50 years ago. So all of these different things, when you ask yourself like, oh, well, should I just work my 9 to 5 and just care about me and mine? I mean, yeah, you could. But again, like, where does that get you?
but a lot of people have a mentality. I'm not saying either or is right or wrong, but a lot of people do got that mentality where it's just like, you know what, I'm just coming in, do my
Yeah, no.
work, make my
They're
money.
feeling capitalism perfectly.
Yeah, but it's like it's not right, but that's just how the world is. It just
just set up.
is. It's set up.
If this can be imagined, if this idea of the way we live, the way we consume, the way we engage, if this can be imagined, then you have to believe almost that something else can be reimagined, something better, something far more inspiring, something more equitable. And I think that is what art inspires. That is
Yeah.
what tips the boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just
Nah,
my
you
2
cooking.
pennies.
Like I feel what you're saying, but I'm just saying like realistically, like I don't think it's ever gonna get that way.
Well, who's that's the thing though. Whose realism are you living in? Whose idea of reality? Because your idea of reality may not be the same as mine. Because I can tell you the people that are around me and what they're doing. So
yeah,
I get it.
but are they changing? Are they doing
Yes.
enough? Is their art changing?
they're changing. They're changing what they can. While they can't change, while they may not be able to impact, the
Right.
community on a global scale, they are changing their neighborhoods. There are people who live in the city that knows that this place is a resource, that I can go get this resource from this place and from these people, and then tapping into that community, tapping into that resource. Then yeah, you can spark change. Change doesn't always have to be something so grand and grandeur. Change can be as simple as we plant a community garden.
Right.
Come dig, come plant your stuff. Come help with these with these crops and with this harvest. Come help.
Right.
Change doesn't always have to be something. Change was the free breakfast program by the Black Panthers, right? And so us capturing those things, that's what made it art, and that's what gave resistance art. But if you were just wanting to be entertained all the time, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yep, it's a great question.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Is that all you got, V? That's all you gonna say?
That's all I got, man.
You gonna let Keisha win the debate?
It's not
No,
a debate.
It's not a debate.
It's
I
not-
think it's just
a-
it's shared
okay.
perspectives.
Yeah.
And it's the outlook on the world that we live in. Like this is the air that we breathe, and we all share it.
Facts.
Facts. And we have to live harmoniously amongst each other, and not
got
be at
you.
each other's necks. You know what I'm saying? Like how you got this government
Okay.
trying to put us. It's wild.
But here's the thing, though. Even the beautiful thing, what you said about the removal of DEI, I'm excited. First of all, I feel like anybody who has worked in the space of DEI, we all knew it was a farce in the first place. So what are you really taking away from us as what you think you're taking away from us as Black people, or as
I use air
as a
quotes.
qualified way, because what it is it's a dog whistle, right? It's a dog whistle because you can't just walk around calling us the N word no more and that be socially acceptable. Some of them do anyway, but on a global cultural scale, that's just not socially where we are currently. So instead, these words like woke and DEI, it's the new way to call us the N word. It's the new way to say that the most underqualified white man is still somehow more superior to the overqualified Black woman, as an example. So we know, for those of us who, again, I've been on DEI boards and committees and all that. So I've seen that a lot of the time you have to call them out for being performative. The lack of diversity, the lack of equity, the lack of inclusion are systemic. So if the response to those things is you just posting cultural awareness, holidays and celebration, like that's performance. That's not changing, that's not modifying any kind of structure. So I'm excited to see with the removal of these things, because the other part that people forget, DEI is paternity leave. DEI is having those spaces for moms to pump milk. DEI, is creating a space, handicap accessible spaces for people who are in wheelchairs. So all of these things that we don't even consider, what a lot of people with these dog whistles hear is Black. They hear Black, brown versus I'm white and I should be more qualified because they miss the picture. But I'm excited to see as a community, how do we respond to that? What we create, what we call out, how we resist. And to me, that is the art.
Alrighty. Well,
And that's all I got to say about that.
I'm gonna let you end up
That's
on
my
that
TED
note.
Talk for the day.
We're running out of time, but you know what, audience, let us know, how do you feel about our whole segment today? Let us know in the comment section, and always remember, stay fly, stay humble, stay fresh.
Peace.
Peace.